Spreadsheet tools for statistics. Excel as a spreadsheet software that you are all familiar with had a set of functions that we can utilize for statistical analysis. For example, we can use Excel to find the mean or the average of our data, the median in our data, the mode, which are the central tendency measures that we have, and also for the variability measures such as the standard deviation. This is the standard deviation for population. This formula is the standard deviation for statistics for the sample. As you know, this is different for sample and population. And also variance for population and variance for sample are different. You need to know whether you're working with sample data or population data. You can use this to find the maximum in your data and minimum in your data. And the last formula is for finding the quartile in your data, to finding the first quartile, the second quartile, and the third quartile. I have uploaded a data set in Excel data set on Camino, and I'm going to do a demonstration how to use these functions to do a statistical analysis in Excel. So you can actually follow with me to learn how to do this. Show you how to utilize Excel for a statistical analysis, specifically for the summary statistics that we have learned, summarizing our data. We have a set of data. It's the age of the students, as you see. The population data set is here in this worksheet. These are all the age of our students. I'm going to take a random sample from this, a subgroup of these age of the students, and I'm going to copy it here. So this is the age of the students here. It's a small sample that has 15 students' ages here. So let's work on the summarization. We can find first of all, we can find the count. You don't necessarily need this because you can, from the number of rows, you can see that, okay, this is 16 and the first one is just a label, so that would be 15. But you can utilize this to find the number. So that would be count. The next one I want to find is the mean or the average. The formula for the average is average. Average, and then you grab all your data and hit enter. So that's the average. Also, I want the standard deviation. Standard deviation, we have .p and .s because this is a sample. We use the .s, the standard deviation sample. And I grab all the data here and I hit enter. Let me put this here, standard deviation, and I put this here, standard deviation. We can also find the variance. The formula is var. We have .p and .s. .s is for the sample, .p is for the population. So I'm going to go with .s. Next, we can also find the quartiles, the median as well. So Q1. The first quartile is, the formula is quartile. We have quartile.exclusive and quartile.inclusive. There are different methods, theory actually, how to find the quartiles. The one that we talked about in class is you need to use the exclusive. So you grab all your data, and then it asks for the first quartile, second quartile, and third quartile. That's the second parameter. So since we're looking for the first quartile, I'm going to put 1 here and hit enter. That's our first quartile. Q2 or median is going to be here. So the same formula, quartile. I'm going to pick my data here. And 2 for finding the quartile, second quartile. Quartile, median. That's all. The third quartile is grab all this data and then the third quartile. The data are so close to each other. That's why the first quartile, second quartile, and third quartile are close to each other. We can also find the minimum and max. Minimum, the smallest value. So the function is min. Let's find the minimum value. Also, we can find the maximum value. We can find the range of our data. We don't have any formula for range in Excel. We just have to find the difference between the maximum and minimum. That would be our range. Right. We can also find the mode. The formula for mode is mode. Whether you have single mode or multiple mode. I'm going to go with single mode first to see if you have more than one mode. We don't actually have any mode, so it says not applicable. There's no mode here. And that's it. We covered all of them. And how to utilize Excel using these functions to find the central tendency measures and the variability measures. It's a little bit time consuming to type in these functions and then grab the data. I'm going to show you a more efficient way. It uses an add-ins in Excel that is not installed by default. I'm going to show you how to install it in a Windows format in Windows system. If you have a Mac, it might be a little bit different. You can Google it to see how would that work in Mac. Go to the data tab to see if you already have the add-ins. In the analysis group, if you have the data analysis tab or even the analysis group might not have it, then this is what we need, the data analysis tools. If you don't have it, you need to install it. So go to the file and then options here. You're gonna open up this window. Then you can go to the add-ins here and select the analysis tool pack. And then here, manage Excel add-ins. Select manage Excel add-ins and hit go. It's gonna open up these windows for you. Make sure that the analysis tool pack is checked. If it's unchecked, check it, and then hit OK. Then come back to the data analysis tab here, and you must have the analysis group and the data analysis tools installed now. You're going to open it. You're going to open this window. It has a lot of functionality that we're going to use, a lot of helpful functionality that we're going to use. Today, I'm going to use the descriptive statistics. So look for descriptive statistics, hit OK. And here, the input range, you need to grab your data, the range of your data. The data is grouped by column, so check the column. The label sample data was not selected, so you don't have to check this. And this is where you want to output the result. You can output it in the same worksheet or a new worksheet. I'm gonna output it in the same worksheet, so I'm gonna pick actually here to be outputted here, and make sure that the summary statistics is checked. Then hit OK, and instantaneously, very efficient, it is going to print out this output for you. It has the mean, as you see here, the same. Forget about the standard error, the median, Q2 19.91. We don't have any mode here, as you see. We have the standard deviation, sample statistics, sample variance, we have variance here. Forget about kurtosis and skewness for now. We have the range, minimum, maximum, sum. So as you see here, it's very efficient way to utilize Excel. Let's work on a practice problem now that we have learned how to utilize Excel functionality on descriptive statistics and data analysis. We have gathered data for 100 customers of 5 fast food restaurants, including Jack in the Box, Hardee's, McDonald's, Wendy's, and Popeyes. The data includes the service time for the drive-through service. We want to use statistics to compare these data to see which one is faster, or do a statistical analysis about the service time of the drive-through for these 5 restaurants. So let's go ahead and do that. I have uploaded a file, a data file for service time Excel file for this on Camino that you can download and follow along as I do that. So these are the data for the 5 restaurants drive-through service time for 100 customers, sample data. We want to use the statistics to analyze this to see which one is faster based on the data that we have. Let's at first find the measures that we have, the average, the standard deviation, Q1, Q2, Q3, all the measures that we have learned. So we can go to the data tab and pick the data analysis and go to the descriptive statistics tag. And in the range of data, we're gonna pick all our data, including the labels. So make sure that you include the label to make it easier to read the output. The data are grouped by column. So this is column labels are included because we included the label. And this is where you want to put your output. For example, I want to print it out here. You can pick the select the new worksheet to output your data in the new worksheet. Make sure that summary statistics is checked and then hit OK. It's going to print out this output for you. So these are the measures for Popeyes here. I can merge this to make it center. So these are the data for Popeyes, for example, as you see here. We have the average service time in drive-thru 175 seconds, the standard error, the median is 175, the mode is 150 seconds, the standard deviation, minimum, maximum. So the lengthiest service time for a customer in this, the sample data is 238 and the fastest has been 112. So you can actually compare these for all these restaurants. For example, based on the average, it looks like the Jack in the Box has a lengthier service time, 276 compared to 177 for Hardee's, 157.98 for McDonald's, and 143.61 for Wendy's, 175 seconds, 0.57 for Popeyes. But we have to take all these measures into consideration. If you remember the law of averages, you should not just by taking a look at the mean and say that Jack in the Box is the less efficient and the slowest of among all of this, and Wendy's must be the fastest one. No, you have to consider other measures such as the median, the mode, the skewness, the quartiles that you have in your consideration before you move on. It could have been, this data could have been actually biased. You could have, for example, one of the machines at Jack in the Box might actually have broken at that day that they sampled the data. So it could be biased. So you have to take all these measures into consideration to make a fair comparison. All right, so it's actually not easy to read these data based on these numbers that you have. Um, it's kind of overwhelming. So as they say, a picture worth 1,000 words. We're going to actually utilize these numbers and measures into one plot, which is called box plot, if you remember. So let's actually plot our data. So we're gonna first, you have to grab all your data. So grab all your data, including the labels, the labels of the names of restaurants. Then go to the insert, come to the charts part group here, and pick this one that has bars, full colored bars. If you go here, it has histogram and box and whisker. So we want the box chart, the box plot here. Select the box plot. It's going to plot this for you. In the y-axis, you have the service time in seconds. In the x-axis, these are the restaurants box plots. The first one is for the Popeyes, as you see here. If you just hover your mouse over this chart, it's gonna pop up a label that tells you what restaurant it is. So the next one is for the Wendy's. The next one is for McDonald's, Hardee's, and Jack in the Box. So this one is a little, it's visual, so it's easier compared to the data that we have, the output, to read it. Um, you can actually make it fine looking by putting a title for this. Also, here you can put the x-axis and y-axis labels. I actually have done that. You can go to find output. You see, this is the output. So I have labels for the restaurants. I have actually also make sure that the outliers are shown by a dot, small circles, and the y-axis has a label derived through service time in seconds.